Hi everyone, it's Mark from Abilities, and today I wanted to talk about how we define independence. Because you hear this term used a lot, whether it's a fellow individual in a chair, or a therapist, or a family member. It could mean a lot of different things, and it can depend on where you're at in your rehabilitation, post-injury, or your level of injury, or the person who's interpreting it. For me, I like to use kind of a general term that I think kind of encompasses everything, and that is, the way I would define it is, independence after suffering a spinal cord injury is the ability to manage your life. So let's think about that last part, the ability to manage your life. I'm going to break it down. So back in 1995, when I broke my neck at the C-5 level, if you were to ask me and I were to answer that question, what does independence mean to you? Within those first few hours or even the first few days, it would have been simple. I would have said being able-bodied. Why? Because that's all I remember. I remember running around, going to play hockey, jumping into the shower, feeling the hot water from my shoulders all the way down to my feet. Being able to put on my clothes, use my hands, hug people standing up, hop in my car, go where I needed to go. All those things gone. So that to me was the independence that I wanted. Now as time went on, and I realized, okay, well, it's going to take a little bit of time to get some of these things back. Independence became more of an itemized list. In the beginning it was, I wanted to breathe on my own. I wanted to get that tube out of my throat. Then it was, I wanted to sit up in my bed without my blood pressure dropping and fainting. Then it was trying to, with a cuff, be able to stab a green bean and bring it to my mouth. This may seem silly to a lot of able-bodied people, but these were stepping stones. Although small to some people, they were big, and they were leading to bigger things. But they were all little milestones of independence along the journey. Now, as I got farther along in my rehab, it became, all right, I want you to go out and go to a grocery store and buy a candy bar, and I'm going to give you change. So you're going to have to go get the candy bar, and you're going to have to pick that change out of your lap and put it on the counter and pay for it. And this was a very big deal because part of, being out in the public and accepting my injury was something I wasn't used to. So it was something new. But it was an avenue of independence that I had to explore. So in doing that, I'm putting the change out, I'm dropping some. I had to deal with people sitting there and, in my head I'm thinking, oh gosh, they want me to hurry up. All these things, but it was going out into the community and doing that. That was part of it. Then it was, okay, now go out to the grocery store, but with a list. With a list of items that I knew I couldn't reach, that I would need help with. So at this point, it wasn't so much physical independence. It was about being able to delegate that responsibility to someone else so that I could get my shopping done and go about my business. So that was something that I had a tough time accepting, but it was part of the overall independence. So I guess what I'm getting at is, and going back to what I said, being able to manage your life. A lot of people focus, and when they hear independence, they focus on being able to be physically independent in all capacity. Being able to go live in an apartment and do everything on your own and change and do your bowel program, do all these things. And that's awesome. And depending on your level of injury, that may be what your goals are for your independence. But for me, it wasn't really particularly that at the time. It was more about, I wanted to get going with my life. I wanted to get back into school. I wanted to, get a job at some point, earn some money, drive, eventually get married, have kids, get a house, all those things that, at least those are the things that I was dreaming about having still. So, I guess, big picture, going back, it wasn't so much the physical, it was being able to be okay with my injury, to go out in public and be in society and do, buy things, use public restrooms, interact with the public. That was hard, but it was part of my independence, mentally being able to do that. And also being able to delegate other responsibilities. You don't have to do everything on your own. I mean, it would be nice, But at the end of the day, there's people out there that are willing to help, and that's okay. I've seen that. And part of, I'll give you an example. When I was playing wheelchair sports, I got to see a lot of guys that had, were similar levels as me, but I could tell like maybe didn't have as much balance or maybe less muscles in their forearms and struggled with their transfer a little bit more. I saw these guys do some amazing things, and they weren't just doing it on their own, but they were, asking other people to help them along the way, and they were not frustrated by it at all, and they were getting on about their business and having fun. I'll use an example. I used to play, wheelchair rugby, and one particular individual who has his own channel, Sean Fluke, Live to Roll, I saw him in Vegas, and he was there for a rugby tournament, and he didn't have any family with him, and I said, man, how are you going to do your bowel program? And he said, I just looked up somebody on Craigslist, offered them a certain amount of money to come and help me out, and they're showing up in about an hour, and I'm going to get it done, and that's it. And that was so awesome. I was like, wow, you know what? He just took control of that and said, this person's going to come and help me. I'm going to get this part done so I can go have fun and play my wheelchair rugby tournament. It was pretty badass. I mean, that to me said that I can do it too, But anyway, just in closing, just wanted to say, independence means something different to everyone, but I just don't want everyone to get, so fixated on, being able to do everything on yourself. It's really about taking control and managing your life. Being able to explore and enjoy all the things that you wanted to do before you got injured. Maybe it's some new things that you discovered after you got injured, but they're all possible. You just have to figure it out and make those choices. So thank you for watching. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the Abilities channel. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter. Leave your comments below. I'm always checking the comments and trying to reply to them. And if there's any other videos or anything you'd like to see, please let me know. And thank you for watching. Take care.